Oh, hey, I am a minute late, which in the modern world may seem like the world has ended, but back in the day before clocks, I'm pretty much right on time. The reason I am late, not that it matters, but context, good morning, everybody, is because my cord of my computer doesn't seem to be working. Maybe this is the universe telling me I need to get a new computer. But so yeah, I was under my desk as I was doing this, being like, okay, let me just see if this works. So right now, as people are turning in, German Made 95, nice to see you. That one persona, and Diane, and I don't know if it's Betty or Bet or just me. My trip was awesome. German Made 95. I thought of you because I see your German flag and the little icon right there. And one of the things I did on my trip was I went out to Columbus, Ohio, and they have a German village area, and my sister and I went on a tour of the German village. They had a house tour where you can go into people's houses, and the houses there are really cool. And I will say this, oh my gosh, talk about looking at people's houses that are decluttered. But oh, hey, Carla, nice to see you. Excuse me, guys, just for a second. I'm going to see if I plug in my computer, it's going to work. So here, you can, here's some fun stuff to look at. Let me see if this works. Huh. Nope. Huh. Okay, well, here, you know what? I'm going to do this really quick. I don't have a client until after. Okay, I'm going to shut down to save the battery. Yeah, but here's a fun thing, actually. I know there's only a handful of us, and this would probably be a lesson for everybody. But you know what? They can listen to the what do you call it? The replay. Now I've got Rhiannon going through my head. Rihanna. But I digress. It was really funny. One of the best houses that we went on this house tour, the one that everybody raved about and we thought was the most impressive too, this was the really fun thing. So we went into this house that this woman and her husband had renovated, this thing that used to be a place where they would stone cut. They took this factory and made it into this gorgeous, very French-inspired home. And she's an interior decorator. And so the place was like chef's kiss. Like, oh my gosh. And even you and me in our regular houses, when we know people are coming over, we're going to make sure it looks good. Well, here was the funny thing. And I say this with humanity and love, that there was a gentleman at the end of the tour. There were a lot of what do you call it? Like volunteers, docents and things, and people along the way to help guide you and things like that. So awesome. And even the people in these houses that were so great, it was like, yeah, at a certain point, we're kind of shoving things in closets to make it so it's workable for people to come in. So even people who have gloriously rich houses and well professionally decorated houses, when they're having people over, sometimes they are tucking things, kind of don't, pay, as I like to say, like pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, so we're not alone. We do pretty damn well with what we have. There we go. Happy Tuesday to you, Ellen. Thank you, and thank you for reminding me that it says me. But hey, good morning all. 7 a.m. I have on Tuesdays, I will share, I have a 6 a.m. client, and by the time 7 a.m. rolls around, it actually feels like pretty late. Yeah, storage space does make the difference. But the funny thing is that you and I I don't have people over as often as I used to. I still will in a heartbeat. So I don't feel the need. I mean, think about it. If you were having thousands of people, or hundreds even, of people walking through your house, you would edit your house would be functioning on a different level than it was if you had your best 4 friends over, or if it was just you alone or with your family. So notice there's different things like that. Storage space does make a difference, but only if you have stuff to store. I don't know where that was going. I thought it was going to be a lot more profound, but yeah, it still is only 7 o'clock in the morning. So good morning, everybody. If you and I have not met before, my name is Beth, and I am a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called DestinationDecluttered.com. Here I am on TikTok, and I love to help you with your clutter. Because I know your clutter isn't just, oh, I'm disorganized, blah, blah. Your clutter tells a story. Your clutter tells a story about who you are, who you used to be, who you are today. But the neat thing is if you're kind of watching my TikTok lives and you are interested in what I'm saying, what you're also interested in is who you want to be, how you want to maybe be things different. You don't want to be cluttered anymore today and in the past because it's accumulated over years. But you're realizing that the clutter is something that you may not want in your home anymore, but you maybe not know how to go about it. I think it's so cool because decluttered life, I'm telling you guys, it has such a positive ripple effect. It does. It does. I will say, my travel is improved by my learning how to declutter and maintain. Why do I say that? Because check this out. I know where my suitcase is. I know where my packing cubes are. I know where my clothes are that I wear that look good when I'm at home, but I also have clothes that I wear typically when I am traveling. I know where they are. They are clean and in good condition. I know where my zip bag of little toiletries are. I know how many, I can organize about how many outfits. I don't overpack. I don't try to bring all the things. I have trust that if I forget something, I can borrow it or buy it, So, it is so effortless and delightful to be cruising around. This was a picture I painted of myself years ago, and it's so funny. I will share this with you because it just happened yesterday. So, I coached myself and I got coaching before I ever became a coach. I don't know where the other one is. And so part of my coaching that I've learned for myself that really works is to get what I call like a nice notebook. And I will write down stuff. I don't get too fancy. People do bullet point journals. I put bullet points in, but I keep mine so simple. And I write down the good stuff. And I remember having this image of myself, both with clutter and otherwise, is kind of breezing through the airport with nothing but a carry-on and a little thing that tucks under, and just feeling that kind of calm. When you see people that travel a lot and they just feel very effortless and elegant, and it's they kind of glide through the airport because they're not weighed down with a bunch of steamer trunks and oversized things that you need to check. That feeling of gliding through life effortlessly and joyfully, I got yesterday. I remembered I went, actually, you might have seen my video about me getting my books and putting them in the give and take. Yes, so the book's right here. I'm pointing at the wrong place. And there's one over here because some of them were sold out. I have put some in the book exchange at the Philadelphia Library because they are books about traveling in Philadelphia, cool vintage places. As I was walking through the international terminal through that, I was like, oh my gosh. I feel like I've made it. I am that person right now. I went away for the weekend and I've gone away for longer with nothing but a carry-on and a bag plopped on top. I know how to act. I'm comfortable in the airport. I go to the lounges. I drop my books off. It's a wonderful feeling. And it's because I have gotten less cluttered, kind of like my IKEA shelves. I see Victoria saying, love those IKEA shelves. I have some, but mine are cluttered. I will share with you. I have pictures of when these looked like hell. These were totally cluttered at some point. I decided I didn't want to look because every time I looked at it, I'd be like, ugh. Now I want to, Abbott Elementary, it's okay, you're not late. I will not lock the door on you like Mr. Norton, my algebra teacher in 9th grade, used to do. If you were late, he would lock the door and say, nope, you got to go to the office. I mean, it was tough love. But yes, but what you can do, Victoria, is maybe get inspired. Notice what you like, and I'm not saying this to show off, but notice what you like about what you see behind me. I will point out a few things, because this is what I used to be in visual merchandising. Notice this simplicity. Keep on pointing my eyes. Each thing has one item in it. Notice the colors. There's similar colors. Notice they all have kind of that square thing. Even the things, even down here. Notice what I did, though. I get the big things up the top, and then down here are the ones where there's like a couple of boxes, and a thing of paper. There's a way to display and organize your items. I can totally help you with that, but that's probably not where you're stuck. Where you may be stuck with is, I have too much stuff. that I don't know what to do with all my things. That's what decluttering is. Decluttering is looking at the quantity of items you have and the quality of items and rejiggering those two variables until you are surrounded by the quantity of items that you love and the quality of items. Now, I, for example, used to think, oh, I'm going to collect vintage train cases. So anytime I saw one, I'd pick it up regardless of color. Then I realized I really liked the pink and the orange and the red. I tend to be a warm color person. So then I realized I didn't want the blue ones and the green ones, so I would sell them. I think I gave some to my sister. I let go of those. The more you know yourself and what brings you joy, you can then curate your collection. Okay? So Lori Corey is asking, saying, I can't get rid of clothes. First of all, this is me being a coach and being a little bit sassy, is saying, yes, you can. You can. I can get rid of clothes. So notice there's an opposite. Any sentence in your head that stops you, I guarantee you there's this sentence in your head that you can create from that, which is typically the opposite, that can get you started. You can get rid of clothes. Maybe you don't know how. I can help. I still love them. Okay. So this is an interesting thing. Love, like, hate, kind of like when you had those little kid things when you were a kid, like when the paper was folded and you were like, you did a thing, and it's such a Gen X thing. It's one of those, seriously, it would take me too long to explain it, but if you know, you know. Think of love, meh, like, whatever, and then the stuff you have is in between. So I still love them, all of my clothes. And here's where I want you to think about these categories of clothing. You have a category of clothes that you like because you wear them now. They fit on your body. You have categories of clothes that you like that you may not fit into or love. Take a look at all of your clothing and just get curious and notice that when you look at something big, like this giant bookcase, that there's going to be categories inside. Okay, a cootie catcher. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yep, I totally get it, Shannon. Because I remembered, like, no, you have cooties, and we had no givesies backsies. Get my fingers crossed, no givesies backsies. Am I right? Yeah. So notice the stuff you love, but I bet you anything, if your quantity and quality, maybe everything you have is stuff you love. Let's just go there. If you love it all, are you wearing it all? What you may find, and studies have shown, kind of the 80-20 rule, we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. So notice the clothing you don't wear. Everybody, notice the stuff you don't wear. I'm pointing to my own closet. I'm picturing stuff in there. Why aren't you wearing it? Don't be judgy. Be curious. My reasons of not wearing some of the clothes that are my clothes, I have very few clothes. I tend to be cool with wearing the same things over and over again, but I do have some things that, I get a signature look, my signature look. And sometimes I don't wear the clothes because it's a different season. I almost put a hoodie on this morning because I was up so early that it was chilly out. I wear stuff. I don't wear stuff. Well, not as much, but you may not be wearing things because they don't fit your body. And maybe when they don't fit your body, maybe you're hoping that you're going to change your body into a shape and size that will fit into those clothes again. Again, there's no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. I've been there. I know I have had clothes, and I might still have some in there that I'm afraid of trying on for fear that they don't fit anymore. And then that opens up a whole can of worms about my body and yada yada. Notice the clothing you don't wear and get curious about it. But also at the same time, and the wonderful thing is this process I'm sharing with decluttering your clothing can go for any topic. Look at your mugs in your kitchen. Look at the, the tablecloths that are folded up and put into a credenza in your dining room. I'm making stuff up. Look at the board games that are maybe stacked up in your living room. Look at look at this one. Look at that one. Look at this one. Look at the whatever notice a category and ask yourself, am I using this? Do we play all these games? Do I wear all these clothes? And Just get curious about the answers. Yeah, I love this. I love this. So Abbott Elementary, she says, not easy, but less is more. But because I was late, because I was putting out a donation pickup. Well, if we were in a teacher-student scenario here, I'd be like, well, I love it because I'm your decluttering coach and you're putting out a thing for donations. Yeah. So awesome for you, Abbott Elementary. Yep. And you have to, here's the thing. You don't have to do anything I mentioned to you. I just like to give food for thought because to me, the real magic happens in your brain and in your nervous system. I like to call it your head and your heart. Your mind, your brain, your head, your heart, your nervous system, where you feel feelings. Really, right here is where the good stuff happens. So even if I share a thought with you, you now have it in your brain and you can bring it along. You can see if it resonates with you. And notice resonate, like Tarzan, if it resonates with you. And then if you want to change, I'm giving you tools to do so. Lilu Dallas says, I found you at a great time. Thank you for that perspective. Awesome. Yeah, Ivy gives things away to your Buy Nothing group. Somebody's being a jerk and I don't translate jerks nicely. Yeah, exactly. See, Mr. RM, we don't want you here anyway. See how easy that is? Yeah, declutter the trolls. Anyhow, let's get into it. How can I help you? I love helping people with clutter because you know what I'm doing is I am teaching you a skill. I am thinking you away. I'm thinking you away. I'm giving you a way of thinking. Even just the notion of saying, wow, I never realized how much the words in my head made me feel a certain way. Because you can tell yourself a story that makes you feel bad. You can tell yourself a story that feels good. You know where it all starts? Is up here and choosing a choice. Now, I will say this from the very get-go. There are thoughts in your head that pop up automatically. It's like a ticker tape, constant ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. That's only half the story. Those are the things that come back automatically, but they're not necessarily true. I would examine them to see if there's any wheat with the chaff, as my fam likes to use that example. But you can decide if a thought doesn't make you feel good. I'm not saying only feel, but why not only feel good? Why not go there? Choose a thought that makes you feel better, because when you feel better, you're going to do better, and not just for yourself, but for other people. When you think a better thought and feel a better feeling, you're going to take action. You are going to get up and move. You are going to do things, and you are going to do things that make your life feel better. And when you do things that make your life feel better, then your life feels better. And when your life feels better, you like that feeling. So you do more things to keep your life feeling better. And then it becomes a way of living. And then I don't even know how to articulate it because it's so wonderful. It just is such an effortless feeling. And even when things become difficult, you let them affect you less negatively. It's a shorter time hanging out, listening to the Smiths, and more time just saying, okay, learn from that, let's move on. Okay? Now, this is a wonderful thing. I just realized this. So, Chingana Elevations is saying, I'm a paper hoarder. My brain tells me I'm going to need it, and because I have it validated, they keep. Okay? Two things. One is, half of your brain is telling you need to keep it. That's what I call your backseat driver. You might need that someday. Fear. I'm going to need it. Okay? But there's another passenger in the car with you. This is your co-pilot. This is your co-pilot speaking. The backseat driver is in the back seat. No matter what they do, they can't reach over. You're the driver. They're in the back seat. Let me set the scenario. You have another voice in your head, though. It's the one in the passenger seat. That's your co-pilot who's there to help you. These guys are going to get you stuck with a bunch of paper. But you know what? Curiosity and love and non-judgment, that's the story. That's where excuse me, my brain just went. That's where your co-pilot lives and says, do we really need all this paper? Notice the lack of judgment. When's the last time we actually looked at those credit card statements? I don't know. I rarely look at them, but I like to look at them when they come in. Okay, so maybe we keep them for a year. Okay, that sounds good. Having an internal dialogue, not just listening to the monologue of the one voice in your head, but stopping them, pausing them, and allowing that other voice to speak, to get a word in edgewise, the voice of love and possibility. That's a game changer. So notice whenever you are feeling stuck and you have thoughts, unhelpful thoughts. Where am I? Oh, this was really funny. I usually tell my clients to get a piece of paper and like just fold it in half, because you rarely have a steno book with you, but because I coach all the time. Think of this. Steno book, it's a piece of paper, but there's two sides to it. This is the stuff that your backseat driver tells you. It's only half the story. On the opposite side of every one of those thoughts is an opposite thought that's going to make you feel better. And when you think better, you feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. You may, release some of that paper, shredding it or recycling it. You may realize that you're just working on an old set of rules that doesn't apply anymore. It's worth investigating what's going on up here and in here, because what's going on up here and in here is what's created your life. And the stuff in it, and where your stuff is. It's up here and in here is where it starts. And the wonderful thing is you can work with that. Okay. Leslie Meshulam is saying, how many clothes are normal? How many t-shirts? There is no perfect number. No. I actually did a video about this, but I'm always happy to repeat, because repetition is part of the learning process. And if you've never heard it before, no big deal. It's not a number, it's a feeling. I'll repeat that. It's not a number, it's a feeling. Now, it's a couple of things. So it's a feeling of, sometimes when you don't have enough, you've got lack. Sometimes when you have clutter and you have too much, but there's a set point. There's going to be a number that feels right to you. And here's what that number is. It's going to be the number of t-shirts that you wear currently, that you feel like they feel comfortable on your body. They're the right length of this. You like the neck. You like the length of the arm. They fit good. They're not stained with grease. You like those ones. You love those ones. Those are the ones you wear. Then the quantity of them tends to be an amount, and again, it's not a perfect number, of depending upon where and how you store your t-shirts, that the ones that when you have all your clothing clean, that they comfortably and easily, I'm all about easily fit into whatever your storage system is. I tend to fold my t-shirts and I put them in a drawer in my bureau. Some of you may call it dresser. I grew up calling it a bureau, though dresser is easier to spell. There is no normal. It doesn't matter what is normal. What matters is you. I could say I've got 20 t-shirts. Somebody else, my husband, a case in point, I have like one drawer filled with t-shirts. He's got 3. So his number is different than mine, and my number is different than his. But he is, we all have a number that our set points are different. So this is the great thing. Learning to not look outward. What's normal? What's normal with everybody else? Okay, I'll just do what everybody else. No. What feels right to you? That's important. Nobody else. Doesn't matter what everybody else does. I don't care how many t-shirts all of my friends have. What feels good to me? And then act accordingly. I will say, but if you're not used to paying attention to yourself, when you're used to externalizing, that can be like, whoa, this is weird. I've never talked to myself this way. Get used to it. This is where the magic happens. Okay? So don't worry about normal. Nervous system, calm down. It's okay. Doesn't matter what happens out there. It matters what happens in here. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So sometimes when we save things, we do then need them. So, see, I told you, we might need that someday. That's not clutter. Even if that's not clutter. I can go deeper, but I will say clutter is the stuff you don't need and you don't want but you're struggling to get rid of for whatever reason. And the whatever reason is what coaching helps you feel safe and comfortable and secure in discovering. Why did I keep this? Okay? Why did I keep this? And notice, judgment is on one side. Actually, it's funny. I have a note because I do one-on-one coaching with people, and I have just a thing of notes here. And it's like, on the one hand, the unhelpful thoughts, I've got quiet your backseat drivers, the problem state, unhelpful thought, detrimental, stuck, judgment, fear, not trusting, feeling bad, this is hard, this is complicated, this is boring, overwhelmed, unsure. Anytime you're feeling any of those, and I know I rattled them off, you get the idea. You feel a certain way when you feel that, those are a certain way. There's another side. Practice the opposite. There we go. Leslie is saying, I have too many clothes. Well, aren't you lucky? That's awesome. I feel like some people don't have any clothes at all, but it's true. How do I find that magic number? Yeah, feeling better, asking yourself, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Ask yourself the question and listen for the answer. If you're judgy, it's going to shut you down. You won't hear an answer. Kind of like the phrase, I don't know. We get that one out of the way and we say, well, what if you did know? Then you look, and you do this all the time anyway. You do, because you're picking the same clothes over and over again. Where you look for the ones you love is probably either on your body or in the hamper or on the floor or in the washer or in the dryer or in your, and it's rarely, the stuff you want is rarely in your storage for a long time, because the stuff you want is the stuff you use. So get curious about the stuff you're not using or wearing. That's a good place to start, is that stored stuff that you're not using. Identifying what you do use and being cool with, yes, I like that, but also saying, okay, why am I not wearing these t-shirts? Oh, because that one, the collar's too tight. That one, I've gained weight. It's too tight on my hips. I don't like the texture of that one. The color's weird. Whatever the reason you have for not wearing it, pay attention to it. Do I still want it then? Well, maybe I'll lose some weight. Nah, you know what? I'll see if I can give it away. It's all up to you. Yeah. Turtle Chicky is saying, my present struggle is getting my husband to get on board. Okay. How about this? Get yourself on board first. Get yourself on board first. If you are decluttered, you have motivations, you have tricks, you have tips, you have things that are helping you get moving and decluttering. So funny you mentioned husbands getting on board. I just heard the door open. My own husband. Practice on yourself first. I would not be showing up as a coach helping you if I did not practice for years getting my own stuff together. I am here now knowing that my system works and I'm sharing it with you, but it's only because I've worked on myself. I bet you might want to trust me more if you knew that my house was decluttered. Now, you've seen different, you could look around this room. See right here, right here. It's not like everything's shoved in a closet and I'm just, selling snake oil here. What I will say is when you know what to do to get decluttered, you can become an authority in your own, you can, I don't like that word, I'm going to zip it. I'm going to do a Missy Elliott and a Willy Wonka. And you are a more trusted source of information when you're living that life, when you are doing it yourself. So before you try to get somebody else decluttered, because that's external, right here, start with yourself, okay? Don't go chasing waterfalls, and don't go pointing fingers at people until you really got your own stuff together and really realizing what goes on underneath the surface of clutter. There's a thought and a feeling associated with every item in your home. It's true. I bought that at Target so I could peel potatoes. Oh, that's that thing I used once and I never used again. That's that, everything. Everything you have tells you a story. Noticing that allows you to say, does it work the way I hoped? Do I want it now? And if it doesn't, getting comfortable with releasing the things that you currently have in your home so that you get to a quantity and quality that feels good to you. A lot of times my clients will say, because I work one-on-one with people, I do coach clients too. So if you want to get your husband on board and your husband wants to get on board, if he sees the benefit of a decluttered home, I coach couples too, and it's the same price as if I just coach one person because it's just the same time. You know what I mean? Like you're both sitting there on the couch. I've done that before. But yeah, work on yourself first and you can better help others. Okay, how do I get to that mindset? Cherry Lulu, 2 things I want you to think about. Again, I like to be I like to give tips that you can use and try on. Okay, so how do I get to that mindset? 2 things. Before the mindset, work on your feelings. Work on your nervous system, as we call it in the biz. And if you're in a sense of, I can't do this, this is hard, notice the thoughts of, I can't do this, this is hard, may activate your nervous system. It make you go like, this is going to be hard, whatever. Tell yourself it's going to be okay. Better thought in your head. It's going to be okay. I can do this. Chunk down, breathe down. That kind of popped up out of nowhere, but calm down your nervous system. Before you even make a plan of what to do. Now, I do it road trip style, okay? I like to think of decluttering as a road trip. That's why I've got this road trip above me. Before you even start making a plan, I want you to get comfortable with the idea, aware of the idea that you've got thoughts in your head that make you feel a feeling. Because these are the precursors to doing anything. Because if you don't think you can do it, you're not going to do it. If you don't feel like you can do it, you're not going to do it. But when you think and feel, I can do this, then you're more likely to take action. Once you get into that kind of better head space, heart space, and calming down your physical body and nervous system, by breathing down, by slowing down, by quieting down, by calming yourself down, by telling yourself better stories in your head, when you are in that better feeling space, then this is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. I want you to think of it as a road trip. Right here, see over here? This is where you are now. Actually, the past is way over here. You were driving along until today and your car called your life. You are here today and your car called your life. You will be driving in this car for the rest of your life until you die. So you are here because of what you did in the past. Don't get judgy, get curious. Today, you know that where you are, some stuff you like, some stuff you don't, but you want to change something, immediately a fork in the road appears. And the fork in the road is, today, I can continue doing what I'm doing, thinking what I'm thinking, feeling what I'm feeling, doing what I'm doing, will continue me on the road. That's going to make my life today look like my life tomorrow, and all the futures look and feel and function like today. It's true. But right now, you have the opportunity to say, wait a minute. I always call this my little traffic cop hand. Hold on. If I don't like, where am I? If I don't like how things are today, I can stop, and immediately when I stop and say, I can do something about this, a fork in the road appears. And this is when you say, okay, I can think and feel and do something different. But that fork in the road, I don't know where it goes. Yes, you do. You know where that fork in the road goes? It goes to your destination. So after you have realized this head and heart thing, and it's not that difficult, but getting yourself feeling better and quieting down, define your destination. Ask yourself what, and here's some, again, tips to help you. 3 questions in order. Write this down. And these are the questions you want to answer from your head and your heart about your destination. Question number one, what do I want my home to look like? Look. Peepers here. Jeepers creepers. How do I want it to look? When my eyes go like this, what do I want to see? How do I want my surfaces to look? What does it look like? Whatever comes up, write it down under look. The second one is, how do I want my home to function? Now, this one's a really interesting one, but I put it in there because there's strategy behind this. There are systems and processes in your home right now that cause your home to function the way it does. Now, I'm going to give you a cheat code for the functionality, and I want you to write down this function ? And then in parentheses, just put easy. Okay, because that's kind of the answer. I used to be in process engineering as well as visual merchandising. I used to make things look good. I used to make things run well. Now I apply it to clutter and decluttering life coaching. What do I mean by easy and functionality? How about this? I want to easily be able to find items in my home when I'm looking for them. Quickly, easily find the thing I'm looking for, use it, and it works well. I'm always thinking like knives. I don't want to have 87 dull knives. I want to have 5 really sharp, good knives. When I use it, it works well, easy to use, and then easy to put away where it belongs. So the next time I get it, it's like this nice thing. I go to find it, I use it, I put it away, so I go find it again. So functionality is ease. So we've got surface, what do I want it to look like? You've got stored clutter, when I want you to think of how does it function. And then the deepest and most powerful one, and please answer this question, is how do I want my home to feel? But I'm going to flip it. Not how do I want my home to feel. I mean, I love you, house, don't get me wrong, but I don't think these walls can actually feel something. I have a relationship with my home. How do I want to feel in my home? I'll give you another tip. This piece of paper here that has the line down the middle, if you don't know how you want to feel, you may come up with good, better, whatever. Write whatever comes up, write it down. But if you get stuck, the English language has far fewer words for the good feeling than the bad things. Okay? So write down the unhelpful things. How do you feel now in your home? Write those down on half of the paper. I always want you to know that there's a flip side to all of this. Write down how you're feeling now, and then practice. What's a word that's kind of the opposite? What's the other side? What would you rather feel instead of that? Yeah. Happy is a good one. Calm is one that comes up. Clear, relaxed, safe. I see I'm coming up with nothing. How do I feel? Delight, happy, energized. Whatever comes up, write it down. Then what you've done is now you've given yourself something to aim for. And if you've done it well, if it doesn't ignite like a little spark, a little stirring in your heart, go back and zhuzh it up. Add some adjectives. Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. I'm doing it. It is so funny. I was, let me see if I can find it. Got this shelf underneath me. And I wasn't, it's so funny. I'm like, there's that tax paperwork I'm supposed to deal with. See, I'm human. I avoid things that I don't want to do myself, but where is it? I said I was going to do a TikTok where I did all these. Maybe it says Mad Libs, people. Do you remember these? Mad Libs. This is so funny because this is literally, I think it was from like 1978 or 79. Yes, this is so funny. Nub. Kathy Urban, where are you now? Nub and Beth, 4579. I did this. And you know what you did? Is you added adjectives, adjective, noun, noun, adverb. So think of the adjectives. And your I said lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. No, adjectives. Unpack your adjectives. Okay, if Roya Level Pebble, it says, I usually feel overwhelmed. What's the opposite? What would you rather feel? What's the opposite feeling of overwhelm? There we go, Carla Holiday. I got them all. I do. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. Conjunction, junction. Oh, conjunction, junction. I did a thing sometime last year, I did a thing about how Schoolhouse Rock really influences decluttering. Because I'm a Gen Xer. I'm elder Gen X, but I'm Gen X nevertheless. And here's a fun thing. It's still kind of in the nebulous stages, so it may not come out right, but this is the creative process. Is think of conjunctions, and, but, and, or. I want, and notice where they come into your telling yourself about your destination. I want it to look like this, but I can't do it. I want it to look like this, and I'm going to do it. I want it to like this or that, you know? Okay? Frustrated when I have no energy for the things that need to be decluttered. Okay, notice this. Frustration and lack of energy. Write those things down. Energy is really important because you can't. This is where I like to flip things to, instead of in your body, let's externalize it for a moment and talk about your gas tank in your car. Everybody, think of your life as a car. You can't move forward when you have no gas in your tank. So if you have no gas in your tank, In order to move forward, you're going to need to fill your tank. Now, how do you fill your tank? It's all that, you've seen the TikTok. Did you do this? No. Did you do that? No. Getting sleep, drinking water, not getting the hiccups, eating food that is good for your body, getting some exercise, getting some rest, getting some quality time, calming down your freaking mind. All of those things will make you feel better. You will have energy. And when you feel better, you do better. Okay? Yeah. Follow me for all the tips. I clean and then poof, it's back to a cluttered mess again. Poof. Now, if it's poof and you didn't do anything and you've got little gremlins running around your house, you let me know. We're going to get rich because we're going to go to the National Enquirer. No, you know what it is? You have a gremlin and it's called a habit. You have a habit of thinking I've decluttered, now I don't have to do it anymore. No, there's two parts to decluttering. Knocking down the stored clutter, but then setting yourself up with new systems. And I know that sounds boring, but getting into the habit of putting your things away versus just putting them down. There we go. I want to be excited and inspired when I step into my spaces. Okay, what's going to excite you and inspire you? What that you look at? And please don't, sometimes we stop at how it looks, but notice how it looks has a direct correlation to how we feel. Okay? Yeah. Notice these things. And Royal Level Pebble, you know what? I love that you are typing them here. I think, what would be really great for you and for everybody? Seriously, put the phone. You got to put down the ducky before you play the saxophone. Put down the phone. You can still listen to me. Put down the phone, and everything you're writing in the comments, write it down on a piece of paper. My destination. Write this, because when these comments are gone, they're gone. I know this because when I do the TikTok lives recorded, when I put them on Destination Decluttered on the YouTube channel, the comments you see right now, so that you don't want them to poof, to disappear. You're writing a love note to yourself and you're saying, this is where I'm aiming for. I am on a road trip. This is where I want to go. If you write it down, writing it down is one of the ways to make things happen. Okay? And I love it that you're slowly is a wonderful pace to go to, getting my living room cleared without just moving the piles from another place. Okay? Seriously, participate in creating your own life. Don't just sit here and be like, oh, I want to do this someday. Dreaming is good. Dreaming is free, as Debbie, Harry, and Blondie would say. But dreaming is, if you don't write down your dreams, they will kind of disappear, or you'll put other things in the way. Okay? All right? Now, here's a fun thing. Hope Ray is saying, I love your red containers. Cool thing is being decluttered doesn't mean to be boring. Being decluttered means having a home that looks and feels and functions like, boop, like you want it to. This room didn't always look like this. At the beginning of this TikTok, and I cannot believe I've been on for 45 minutes already, I will be here for another 16 minutes, and then I clock off for consultations and coaching. And fun. We're driving down the beach today. My husband has a gig. We're staying over. We're going to see friends. Trust me. You want to have a fun life? You hang out with me. I will show you how to have a fun life and have a home that looks and feels and functions like you want it to. It's not or I can have a house or this. You know what I mean? A clean house or this. I am all about the and the base. Now, what I want to say is this IKEA shelf has been here for pretty much 19 years or so. It has not always looked this way. I have been cluttered. I have pictures to prove it. I will probably share them with the people on the mailing list before anybody else. DestinationDecluttered.com/join if you want to get to my mailing list. I learned, I practiced, I got better. And so now it looks good, but it functions well. I know what's in each one of these cases. I know where to reach for my earrings. I know where to reach for my bracelets. I know where to reach for different things. Okay? I love it. And I see some, okay, and this is really cool. And this is talking about the pace with which you do things. Choose to believe that right now is the exact right time for you to start changing your clutter. Because if it wasn't, you would not be watching this TikTok. The reason you're watching this TikTok means there's something in what I am doing that's resonating with you, saying you want to change it. Now, Carla is saying, and I got to see both comments, I'm thrilled. I threw out some things last night I would never let go of 6 months ago. So notice for Carla, 6 months ago wasn't the right time. Carla and I, full disclosure, she and I work in a coaching relationship. I do one-on-one coaching with clients on Zoom once a week, 10-session package once a week for an hour. If you want that, I think I've got some TikTok, I've got some consultations on the books for this week, but not many. Choose to believe that when you're ready, the teacher appears. Here I am. I am now showing you that there's a way that you can live that's different from the way you want. I can help you get there, but you are the one that does the work. And it doesn't even have to be work. Please, I make it fun. Look at me. I'm singing Conjunction Junction for crying out loud. Okay? Yes, Melinda Hall, you've got some habits. And I say this with love. I struggle with perfection. Yes. Perfection is not your friend. No. We think it is. It's not. Perfection stops any progress. I set a goal to declutter, and then I second guess myself. Self-trust. Paying attention to yourself. Trusting your heart. Trusting how you feel about things. And practicing that will eliminate the second guesses. And when you don't have to guess and guess again, you're not expending your energy on the same thing. You're making a decision that feels good. You're doing something about it and you're moving on. And then you're just in flow and you're moving forward. You're digging it. You're loving it. Okay? User 4473 is saying, any suggestions for organizing jewelry when a traditional jewelry box is too small? Yes. I will always, because I am Beth, Destination Declutter, Decluttering Life Coach, I will always start with go through and declutter your jewelry. Ask yourself, do I want this? Do I wear this? Do I love this or do I not like it? Is this broken? Does it work well? Start to see if you need all of that jewelry or want all of that jewelry. If you do, awesome. Again, this is a feeling and a number that's up to you. If you're feeling good about the quantity of jewelry you have and you say, yes, I definitely wear this and I want to keep it and all that, then buy a bigger box. I mean, and here's the funny thing. You're saying, traditional jewelry box is too small. I got earrings in this little sewing kit. I've got my bracelets in another one. I don't really wear necklaces. So once you're cool on what you have, you can find any old thing to containerize it. But do it in a way that you know where the things are. Okay? There we go. Yeah, I'm learning to identify my habits and to love myself. Oh, that's the number one. If we all just loved ourselves and stopped beating ourselves up, things would be so much easier. The good news is that is a habit you can practice, and it gets easier with time. Trust me. I know the before and afters in this one. It's a game changer. Okay, I'm learning to identify my habits, noticing, putting the traffic cop hand up and being like, oh, notice this habit I have. Not with judgment, with love. I love myself and tell myself it's okay. Okay? I tried and that's okay. Learn from yourself, do better the next time. All right? I cleaned out my spice cabinet and it makes me so happy, says Doodaloo68. Yeah, notice the feeling. When I declutter, when I get rid of what I don't want and what I have left is what I do want, that feels good. It's the only reason I even do coaching. I don't really care what it looks like. I am not going to be one of those perfectionists with the Cheerios in the clear cabinets. To me, honestly, for me, that's a big old waste of time. To me, my Cheerios stay in the Cheerios box. I don't even want to spend an increment of my time doing something like that where I could be spending that enjoying my life. But you do you. But what I want to say is there is a connection between how you feel and your clutter. If you aren't feeling good because of your clutter, we can make you feel better by working on your clutter. Okay? That's true. Actually, that was so awesome, Carla, too. I will share because Carla's sharing it. Carla is sharing with everybody. The first 5 coaching sessions have helped me so much. I have invested in 10 more after the first 10. So I work in a 10-session package. Typically, it's 1 week, 10 weeks in a row. We're flexible. I know summer vacation and stuff like that. I travel. You've got stuff going on. But 10 sessions, that's the only thing I sell. I charge money for 10-session packages. It was a delight to realize how much Carla is loving what we're doing and the progress she's making is amazing. That she sent me money for the next session the next like package, and we're just halfway through the first one. And this is the thing, is that, this is not a one and done thing. Depending upon how much clutter you have, how many years you've had struggled with clutter, you have probably a lot of thoughts and feelings associated with it. You may have tons of stuff piled up, storage units, closets, under the bed, basements, attics, all that stuff. I start with a 10-session package because I want to make it manageable to you, but also I want to encourage you that moving at a pace that feels good to you and to your nervous system is the guaranteed way to not just rush through it and be like, yeah, I kind of did it and now I'm done, but I don't know what to do. Shh. We work at a pace that feels good and safe for your nervous system. It's like driving down the highway, cruising along at a space that feels good. So I love that. Yes, and Carla, that was an absolute delight, and I am so excited for us to work together, because that's going to get us between like the August to October thing, and we've got some milestones, Yeah. Get a grip, honey, is saying I'm definitely a pile person. Yeah, I grew up in a house of people who made piles. My mother still makes piles. For the entirety of my existence in the house that I grew up in, my dad had a pile of stuff next to his chair. My mother had a pile next to her, behind her, whatever. Now my dad has passed. My mom's in the house alone. It's a habit. It's a habit of thinking. And you typically, we skip over the feeling part. Habit of thinking and doing. Oh, I'll get to that later. Oh, that's important. Oh, I'll put it here and deal with it later. It's a process. It's just probably not getting you what you want. Notice those things. All right? Notice you have a habit. And habit is a very neutral term. Good habit, bad habit. I say helpful or unhelpful. It either is unhelpful because it keeps you living in a house of piles, or it's a helpful habit because it gets you living where you're looking around going, oh, I love this place. Now, trust me, I've got a random pile of crap here, but it's manageable, and it's because also I was traveling yesterday and I haven't put some stuff away. There's going to be a certain amount of stuff. It's like we don't live in museums, but it's not about the stuff, the everyday stuff. It's usually about the stuff that's piled up because I don't know what to do with that, so I'll figure it out later. Anybody ever said that to yourself? Yeah. Today is later. Today is the later from yesterday. Okay. Now here's an interesting thing. Lee Lu says, I often get so overwhelmed that I have triggering anxiety and then I'm not doing the clutter. Of course you do. So let's back it up. Deal with, and I say this lovingly, but pay attention to your nervous system. Notice you're going to have a thought. Lilu Dallas, this would be very curious for you to realize, what's the thought, what's the thing I see that makes me create a sentence in my head that causes me to feel the overwhelm and anxiety? Notice the words in your head will trigger that anxiety. Oh my God, overwhelm tends to be anything under the umbrella of too much. Oh my gosh, this is so too much. I can't. This is going to take forever. I've been like this for decades. That makes me feel anxious and I don't want to do anything. Yeah, when you feel anxious, oh my God, I can't even right now. Because when you feel anxious, you don't want to do anything. You just want to self-protect. You want to make yourself feel better. When you calm down, slow down, take care of the physical part, quiet down those thoughts, shh, breathe down, stretch, shake it off like Taylor Swift. When you feel better, you're going to do better. And part of that is going to be working with your physical body, with your nervous system, and with the thoughts in your head. So don't even start with the decluttering. Anybody, don't start driving until your car is warmed up. But do the things to warm up your car. If you're sitting in the driveway with the keys in the ignition and you're not doing anything, that's not warming up your car. What you're doing is you're getting it so that things are warmed up, stuff's going through the tubes, you've got enough gas, the windshield wiper fluid's there, you've got air in your tires. When you're feeling better, that's when you're going to more easily be able to start with the decluttering. Okay? That's how it works, people. That's how it works. Okay, notice how we all have these stories. Katie is saying, my mom was obsessed with constantly being clean and organized, and I think that maybe be the opposite. Yes, because you noticed maybe her energy around that made you feel a certain way. We tend to be the opposites. Also, sometimes people who live with parents or whoever brought them up was always cleaning and things, maybe they were doing it so much that they didn't teach you how to do it. They did it for you as opposed to helping you do it yourself, teaching you the skill. Notice, you've got stories in your head that make you feel a feeling. Mom's always cleaning. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm going to do something different. Notice these things. Yeah. And Carla, yeah, your daughter works at TJ Maxx. My piles are in TJ Maxx bags. Yeah. We get doom bags, right? Didn't organize, only moved. Yeah. What about a mom who wants to save everything for the adult kids in case they want it later? I'm assuming it's your mom and you're the adult kid. You can have these conversations with her. You may be able to change her, you may not be. But what I say is, it doesn't matter about her. What about you? You can look at the stuff that she is saving for you. All right, TikTok, I know I get like 3 minutes. You can look at the stuff that she's saving for you, and if you say, no, I don't want it, and she gets all offended, just freaking take it. But then know what you want to do with it. Do you want that thing in your house? If you do, if you legit want it, not guilt, not obligation, not whatever. If you legit want it, keep it in your house. If you don't, you have permission to rehome it somewhere else. Okay? Notice these things. Yeah. Deciding where it belongs is hard for me. You know what makes it easier? Practicing deciding. Really, that's what coaching is getting in touch with yourself and not like, oh, I'm getting in touch with myself, like, hippy dippy stuff. Kind of some of that. Paying attention to what you want. Deciding what you want and then taking the action that's going to get you what you want. And the cool thing is when you do this with declutter and you get better at this, then you use this skill all over the place. What do I want to happen when I'm on vacation? What do I want to happen today? What do I want? And it's not greedy. No, it's a wonderful place. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. That one persona says, my mom admitted she didn't teach me how to routinely clean because she was do it myself. Yeah, my maid made me do it, and now I don't make cleaning like I should. Yeah, you know what? They didn't make it fun. It can feel like an obligation. Yeah, she just did it for me. Yes, notice, decluttering is a skill. It is a life skill. The wonderful thing about a skill is it can be taught. That's why I do coaching. DestinationDecluttered.com is my website if you want to take a look at the coaching. I probably should have mentioned that more, but I like getting into it with you. But coaching with me is like one of these TikTok lives. We hang out, we ask questions, we calm down the nervous system and the backseat drivers to allow your co-pilot, your discovery. Hey, you know why? I never learned how to do this. It's like driving a car. Decluttering can be taught. And the wonderful thing is it's a decision-making process. Practice making decisions. If you are a parent, allow your children to make decisions too. Guide them. Get them comfortable with making decisions. And if the word is, I don't know, notice that. Get that out of the way and say, well, what if you did know? What would you like? If I don't know, what if you did know? Allow yourself to hear your own heart, your own soul. Listen for that whisper. Quiet down the backseat driver. Allow your own nervous system and your co-pilot to speak. And you have it in you what you want. You know what your destination is. Whatever comes up, write it down. Okay? And know that it's a skill you can learn to get there. Clutter-wise and otherwise. Yeah, body doubling, finding out how to get there that works for you. All right? All sorts of good stuff. Now, I need to hop off because I've got coaching and consultations for today to like half the day. Then, not only do I work and I get to go down the beach for the day, and I will be home tomorrow, and I will be doing a TikTok live tomorrow night, and I have some consultations and some coaching going on. If any of this sounds like it's something that could help you get to your destination, sign up for coaching. Sign up for consultation. Get on my mailing list. Even just liking my TikTok page. Every little bit helps. Okay? That's why I'm doing that thing I do. I'm going to go see that on the big screen on Friday. So excited. But I digress. I'm going to head off now. You have an awesome day. Just see what I said and how it lands. Play with these ideas. You can do this. All right? I'll see you tomorrow.